hello, and welcome back to Fairy Folk Tales. You have all been waiting so patiently for this moment, and I promise you, Episode 8 is where everything changes. Let's dive right back into the tension. The king had just uttered that single, earth-shattering word to Amara, everything. Instantly, the room seemed to shrink, the air growing thick and heavy. For Amara, standing there before her king, a strange transformation was taking place. The initial shock, the flicker of fear she'd felt moments ago, was melting away, replaced by something far more potent, something far more dangerous. It was a slow-burning desire, an unexpected spark in the face of absolute power. King Adagon, seemingly oblivious to the turmoil he had just unleashed within her, turned his back. He walked with a regal, measured pace toward the grand balcony that overlooked the palace courtyard. His magnificent royal robe, a cascade of rich fabric, trailed behind him, flowing like a living shadow in the dim light of the royal chambers. His voice, calm and commanding, cut through the silence without him even needing to look back. "Come," he said. Amara's feet felt rooted to the spot. Just for a second. The hesitation was brief, a final moment of her old life warring with the new one being offered. Then, she moved, her bare feet silent on the cool marble floor as she followed him. Stepping out onto the balcony, a gentle night breeze swept over her, a cool kiss against her suddenly warm skin. It felt like a brief moment of clarity in a world that was quickly becoming complicated. The full moon hung in the sky, casting a silvery glow that washed over the king's features, illuminating the quiet, intense storm brewing in his eyes. He looked less like a king and more like a force of nature. He broke the silence, his voice a low rumble. "Do you know why people fear power, Amara?" She swallowed, her own voice barely a whisper. "No, Your Majesty. Because power gives you choices," he explained, his gaze fixed on the sleeping kingdom below. "And people, by their very nature, despise those who can simply choose the things they can only ever dream of." Then, he turned his head, his movements slow and deliberate, until his piercing gaze met hers. The intensity in his eyes held her captive. "I choose you, Amara. But you must understand that power, true power, demands one thing above all else: secrecy. What happens between us, what is said between us, must never, ever reach another soul." Her chest tightened. It felt as if a band was constricting around her lungs. She was already navigating a treacherous path in this palace, every day a delicate dance on a knife's edge. Now, he was asking her not just to walk on knives, but to step willingly into the fire. A surge of boldness, one she didn't know she possessed, rose within her. "Why me?" she asked, her voice stronger this time, challenging him. "Out of all the women in this kingdom, women who would crave your touch, who would do anything for a moment of your attention, why choose the one who didn't ask for it?" A dark, knowing smile played on his lips. It was a smile that held ancient secrets and unspoken promises. "Because, Amara," he said, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, "those who do not want me are the only ones worth having." Her breath hitched in her throat. His logic was twisted, yet it made a terrifying kind of sense. He saw her not as a prize to be won, but as an equal force to be reckoned with. "So, if I were to accept this, your offer," she ventured, her mind racing, "what happens next?" In a single, fluid motion, he closed the distance between them. Now, he stood just inches from her, so close she could feel the heat radiating from his body. His voice, when he spoke again, was a low, intimate murmur that seemed to vibrate through her very bones. "Then your life," he promised, "changes forever." He lifted his hand, the movement agonizingly slow, and his fingers came to rest gently on her chin. His touch was firm, a silent declaration of ownership, yet it wasn't forceful. It was commanding, yet surprisingly gentle. A paradox, just like the man himself. "But understand this, Amara," he continued, his thumb stroking her skin. "I am not a man you love. I am a man you survive." Her heart hammered against her ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the quiet of the night. Why did those words feel like both a dire warning and an intoxicating promise? He was offering her a gilded cage, but a cage that would protect her from the wolves circling outside. He leaned in closer, so close his breath was a warm caress against her ear. The scent of sandalwood and power enveloped her. "Now answer me carefully," he whispered, his voice leaving no room for doubt. "Do you accept my protection and everything that comes with it?" Amara stared into his eyes, searching for something. Anything beyond the layers of authority, and she found it. Behind the crown, behind the power, behind that tantalizing darkness, she saw a man. A man who held the power to utterly destroy her, to shatter her life into a million pieces, or to remake it into something she could never have imagined. The choice was hers. Destruction, or a dangerous, dazzling transformation. Slowly, deliberately, she gave him her answer. She nodded. "Yes, Your Majesty," she confirmed, her voice steady. "I accept." A long, slow exhale escaped the king's lips. It was a sound of profound relief, as if he had been holding his breath, not just for that moment, but for years, waiting for that very answer. And then, just as quickly, his expression shifted. The gentleness vanished. The vulnerability was gone. In its place was something dark, possessive, utterly dangerous. "Good," he said, his voice a low growl of satisfaction. "From this night forward, you belong to me." And on that chilling, thrilling note, we end episode 8. Things are escalating, the stakes are higher than ever, and a new, dangerous game has just begun. But what happens when the queen finds out? Should we bring the jealous Queen Chidera into the mix for episode 9? Let me know in the comments by typing next if you want to see what happens now. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Your support means the world. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Fairy Folktales, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the explosive next chapter. I'll see you all very soon.